Hola! Today on the show, Lester and I will be talking about how to create a successful web series. So get ready, you're going to want to take some notes. Let's get this show started. Hey guys, this is Ron K. Armstrong, filmmaker extraordinaire, and I want to talk to you today about how to create a successful web series. So Lester and I were talking the other day, and we were going over some tips, tricks, and techniques that could make a really good, successful web series. Because we see a lot of web series that came out that had a lot of promise, but they fell short of really reaching their audience. So let's go over some quick techniques that will help you in terms of making a web series successful and finding an audience, and also connecting with major producers, studios to get that web series to the next level, or take it to the next level, I should say. All right, you ready for this, Lester? Okay, I'm gonna use some of your comments that we talked about the other day. All right, the first thing is when you're creating a web series, you want to keep it to about 7 minutes long per episode. You don't want it too long, because the thing is, people like to watch things from work, on their lunch break or when they're not working. So if you keep it really short, they can catch an episode while they're working. But if it's really, really long, like 15, 20 minutes, then it becomes cumbersome to watch it. And a lot of people have attention deficit disorder, so they're not really good with paying attention to certain things. And the idea of keeping it 7 minutes long means you can do a lot of episodes. When you go out there to shoot, you can spend your a one-day shoot, and you can have multiple episodes. Where if you're doing something for like 20 minutes per episode, you can spend an entire day just on that 20 minutes. But 7-minute block keeps you really tight, and it also gives the opportunity to create more episodes and have people watch it more. Okay. Now the next thing you want to keep in mind with this is that when you create your episode, put it on as many platforms as necessary. YouTube is no longer the only game in town. They have a lot of other platforms out there. You got Twitch, you got Vimeo, you got Minds.com. So saturate the platforms with your videos. Okay, make sure you do that. Okay, the other thing you want to do is make sure you have good thumbnail. Get a Photoshop expert who knows what they're doing and can create a good thumbnail for you. And that's the first thing people will see when they're looking at what to watch on YouTube, because YouTube does this rotation, and if your thing comes up in the rotations and it's a good thumbnail, likely people will click on it. Another thing that Lester and I have seen that really has hurt a lot of web series producers is the fact that they will produce a number of episodes, maybe 4 or 5, and then drop it. Okay, now it takes time to reach an audience. Even sitcoms, it may take two seasons for it to really get a strong audience. If you remember Star Trek didn't start doing well until the network canceled it. So I want you to think about going into your project that you are going to create a number of episodes. I'm not just saying, like I said before, 4 or 5. You might want to create 15, 20 episodes, okay, and release them periodically. Now, the other thing you want to do is to make sure that once you have the episodes, you saturate the platforms with them, and you can do like Hootsuite, and that's a great platform that allows you to schedule releases of your videos, all right? And don't forget, you want to put your videos on things like Instagram and Twitter. All right. Now the next thing, this is very, very important, because you need to connect with your audience. You need to find your audience. All right. That's like super important. All right. So once you have your video up on YouTube, you need to create a type of splash page or an opt-in page. And that opt-in page is to capture email addresses. And this is when I learned a hard lesson. So once people are watching your videos, they have the option to go in there and get information on the next episode, or whether they can opt into your newsletter, or they can opt in and get more information of behind the scenes, the cast, crew, and all that, or photos and things like that. So it's a one-page splash page. You can usually create that using services like GetResponse, and it allows you to capture large amounts of email addresses so that you can have those for your fan following or your audience. You can do the same thing with Facebook, where you create a Facebook fan page and put an opt-in or email capture box on that. Now here's the next and last step, and I think the most important step, to where a lot of producers are lacking in the web series arena, is that they don't connect with the right people in the industry. I'm talking about the power players, the power brokers. What you need to do is create your 5x7 postcard and mail it to who, Lester? Everyone. Who? Everyone! Let me say that again. Who? Everyone! That's right, everyone. And you should create a postcard for almost every episode and mail it to producers, studios, production companies, press people, and just mail it and put a little catchy saying on the postcard. Talk about if your web series is kicking butt, tell them like, oh, we've got over 100,000 views so far. You can put that on there. So that's important because the fortune is in the follow-up. So you have to get people from being cold to warm. And the only way to do that is consistency and follow-up. Make sure that you're sending your postcard out on a consistent basis. Oh, and that's another thing I wanted to tell you. If you're going to release your episodes, your web series, make sure you release them on a specific day and make sure you do it according to a schedule so that your audience or your fans or your followers know when to expect it. The worst thing is to release it haphazardly and they just don't know it's out there. You lose your audience. They don't know when to tune in. So that's very important. But going back to what I was saying, make sure you're sending your postcard out and you're connecting with these producers so that they're aware that you're out there. And you should be doing this for at least a year because it takes time, like I said, to go from that cold to that warm market and to reach them. Now, what makes Lester and I authority on this? Well, I did a web series. The first episode got over 1 million views on YouTube. I'm going to put the link in the description box. And what bonus tip, you want to make your web series kind of controversial. You don't want to do something very generic like a love story. Or how many dates can you get, 24-hour dating. Those things have been done to death. You got to come up with something where it's like a mystery or something that really pushes the envelope to get people to tune in. In the old days, the serial days, and this is where George Lucas and Steven Spielberg based Raiders Lost Ark off, was the cliffhangers. Every episode that you would watch would end in a cliffhanger, and you wanted to tune back in next week to find what happened to our hero. So if you can do that in your web series, not to the point of where somebody jumps into episode 2 and can't follow it, because they didn't watch episode 1, but you do want to kind of put into there some kind of cliffhanger, mystery, or leave something that is open so that it can be followed up in the episode. Creates curiosity, creates that tension that audiences definitely want to find out what happens in the next episode. And like I said again, I've seen a lot of people come out with web series, good intentions, and the web series was actually kind of good, really good, but because they only gave it 6 episodes and that was the only shot they gave it, they thought they can reap success and rewards off of that. No, it takes a lot of episodes to build your audience and to find the right producers, find the directors and the studios who will be interested in it. So that's all I have to say for that. That's giving you a lot of tips. Did I miss anything, Lester? No? Okay, we're good. Lester thinks we're good. So this is Ron K. Armstrong, filmmaker extraordinaire. Until my next episode, keep shooting.